Hello and welcome to the trade setup. In this video we are looking at Supermicro computer. It is time for another update, and today we are going to discuss the post earnings areas of support, the relevant areas that could allow us to still move higher. But before we get there, I would like to go quickly through the larger time frame for any of you who might be new. And here we are still attempting to track a possible impulse forming on this chart, where we have in this case a series of 1-2 setups that have formed over this area, and then this would be an internal wave 3 to the upside of an initial larger third wave structure that we would be looking for, and then we are tracking at this moment the wave 4 correction to the downside in this area, in which we expect to find support between the $43.5 level all the way down to the $14 level. And as long as we hold the 50% retracement, we can still be looking for an additional high here in this follow-up wave 5. Now, if we break below the 50% retracement, it's not necessarily going to turn into full bear mode where we are going to look directly for new lows. We do have other interpretations, some of them even presented here on this channel, but it would be pretty much impossible to really continue to track an impulse on this chart in that case. And with that said, in this wave 4, we do still have a possible ways it could work out within. So there is the chance, the slight chance that we have already formed the bottom, and we could be looking to form a diagonal structure to the upside in this wave 5. But we do also have this interpretation in orange, in which we consider that so far we have only formed an initial wave A down. We have here a possible top in a wave B, and we could be looking for a follow-up wave C to the downside, in which we expect to form a 5-wave structure. Now, within this interpretation, we also allow some room for the green scenario, where instead of having the wave B top here, we would consider this only an initial wave W, this a wave X, and then a wave Y that could still reset here, basically this wave B top, and then we should be looking for a 5-wave structure to the downside within the wave C. So that is still a very plausible interpretation. We could allow even deeper retracements, even a reset here of the wave X, but at the moment we do have the possibility to already track the developments of the wave Y, where we already have a wave A complete, a wave B possibly complete, likely still ongoing, and then we are looking for an additional wave C to form a new high within this structure, but we need it to break above the $66 level, the previous top that we have here in this wave B, for that to really be the case. Now, in this area, we do have some options as well. As I was mentioning, it is technically possible that we have already bottomed within the wave B, but so far we only have 3 waves up, and based on the pre-market pricing that is happening right now, we are likely going to invalidate the possibility of this turning into a 1-2-1-2 setup. And that is going to suggest that that the only way we could really have a wave B bottom here would be where we form a diagonal structure within this wave C to the upside, where this would be a 1-2 setup instead. I don't necessarily find this too likely. Also, it is a 3-wave structure up, and the probabilities aren't necessarily in our favor for this to work out. However, we can still look for an area of support for such an interpretation, especially since likely this 1-2 setup is going to fail. Most likely the pricing is already below the beginning of this internal wave 1, so it would be invalidated quite easily at this point. But we could still be looking for support in the area between the $50.5 level all the way down to the $43 level. Now, if this doesn't work out, which isn't a high chance, to be honest, isn't a preferred probability, we do still have a chance here for a reset within the wave B in green, and we do have this entire area of support between the $45.8 level all the way down to the $32.9 level to find a reversal and create a wave C to the upside with a decently good likelihood, especially since it is technically possible for me to count this movement to the upside as a 5-wave structure. I could count this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th, but I do want to warn you, this is also possibly this is also able to be counted as a three-wave structure in an ABC pattern instead. So not the highest quality trade setup as we always look for, but still somewhat of a decent chance for a reversal from this area of support. Yeah, keep in mind, sometimes even the three-wave structures do work. We don't need a five-wave structure. Those just suggest that the probabilities are on our side for a reversal in the direction that we are interested in. Now, before we get any closer, I forgot to mention briefly, this wave 4 is possibly going to develop as a triangle, especially based on the choppiness that is developing in this area. Yeah, I just wanted to do a quick mention. Normally we wait until we get some more data and yeah, basically more failures to go in any of the trend directions. Yeah, even here on the shorter time frame in a larger three-wave structure to the downside, even in a reversal to the upside, and we just trend sideways for a considerable amount of time. Could happen. Not going to focus on that, however, at least not for now. Now, before we head here into the very short time frame, before we head into the internals of this possible wave C to the downside, I do want to point out an ideal target for this wave C in an ABC structure within the green scenario is possible now, because we have a supposed top within the wave B, and it would be the 100% extension of the wave A. Now I do want to make it clear, this is an ideal target. We don't need to get there and we don't need to stop there, but in this case it is at the $37.3 level, very much in confluence with the 61.8% retracement, the golden ratio. So this would be actually a quite interesting area to consider. It is below some structural support that we have formed here previously, but for me it will be an interesting area to consider a position, the 61.8% retracement here in the green scenario. But actually I also want to point out, don't forget, we are also looking for a possibility of this orange interpretation to work out. Now, this is likely actually not going to work out within an impulse to the downside. We do have pretty much a three-wave structure here, so we should probably expect also something like an ABC to unfold within this wave, wave 3 in orange in the larger pattern. But even a wave A could unfold itself as an impulse, especially since we have an initial 5-wave structure possibly complete here to the downside. Now, in that case, the ideal target would be the 138.2% extension, the $31.3 level instead, which, it is below the larger area of support in the green interpretation. Now, in the shorter time frame, we have been considering a possible bottom here in a 1-2. We had a 3-wave correction to the downside complete, and we were looking for resistance for possible continuation in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We didn't get that. We broke above the resistance, which is generally good for the chart to not have an impulse forming to the downside. But I do have to say, I also have the possibility for a quite extended wave C in this area, since I could consider this a 1-2, and here a third about to complete, and then a fourth and a fifth to unfold within the wave C. But I could also consider this a large wave 1. In both ideas we are tracking a diagonal pattern. Actually, we are tracking in both ideas a diagonal pattern within this wave C to the downside. But this could be a 1, this could be a 2, we could get a third now. This would unfold in something like an ABC, and then we could be looking for another fourth and a fifth to the downside. Now, this depends fully on how this movement, this structure unfolds to the downside. Because if we form a 5-wave structure, something like this, it is likely going to be in a 1, 2, 3, where this in a wave 3 is an ABC structure, and I should remove this not to make any confusions. But we will need to have some patience and wait and see how this will actually end up playing out. At this point, I cannot really give you any shorter time frame resistance or support areas, because we are in the pre-market hours and we will need to wait a little bit until the opening volatility actually plays out. And for now, you can still watch out for this area of support in yellow, but the main focus for me is this larger area of support in the green scenario. And for now, these are the levels. This is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to subscribe and let me know what else you want me to cover, and I'll do my best to do that in the days and weeks ahead. And until then, I hope you have a nice day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.